I tend to draw my inspiration for my videos off what I've been doing each week, and this week all I did was edit a massive video in one sitting, and I feel like my brain's completely melted from it. So I'm going to talk about that. And I'll tell you a little bit about my editing process because it was originally just meant to be like a little follow-along vlog, but by the end of it, I think I can say it was a full-length documentary. Like, it's a feature-length video. It's on my other channel, Debbersdoe, and it's about like how I'm a taekwondo athlete, but I went and got involved with some boxing stuff because my friend's doing like a big boxing tournament, and it was like a whole thing, and it came out incredibly well. I even uploaded it a day late because I was like, I'm not rushing this. This is coming out too good to rush it. So I have successfully made a part 1 of a feature-length documentary, and I'm gonna make the part 2 because it's like before the fight night and after the fight night, and the fight night hasn't happened yet, so I haven't even recorded anything for part 2 yet, but it came out so good, and it's easily the most successful video on my channel. Like, it's still a pretty dead channel. It's a new channel, relatively. I first uploaded to it on my birthday in April. I think right now most videos are getting between 200 and 500 impressions. Not even views. Like, I think I'm getting single-digit views on it right now. But, you know, each channel is a build. But this video's got like 2,000 impressions, and it's the most viewed on my channel except for like 1 right now. It's a really good, you should go watch it. But I thought I would talk about my editing process for making the video. I recorded it all. I recorded on 3 devices, so I had the big vlog component like I'm set up now, and that was on my Canon R10, which I'm recording in 10-bit HDR, so you got all the fancy colors. And then I have my OBSBot Meet 2, which I did a video about on this channel previously, and that one is also in 10-bit HDR, and that's not a high quality camera, it's like a webcam style, so I have to plug it into my laptop, which I was taking around with me. And then I also recorded on my phone, which I couldn't even tell you the codecs and color profiles I was working with on my phone. It's not that good. I think it maxed out at recording in 1080p. I think my phone can record in 4K, but I don't think I did have it set up in 4K. I'm not so sure. Let me see if I can check it real quick. Yeah, so I recorded on my phone in full HDR, which, like, full HDR versus HDR is like a bit weird, but full HDR. So that's what I recorded in on my phone. And I had all my different footage, and I put it on the timeline, and I ended up making, I think I recorded on my phone 30 frames per second, but my timeline was 25 frames per second because my higher quality cameras could only do 25 frames per second at the resolution I wanted. So that's what I had. A combination of all these things, I had about 7.5 hours of footage on my base timeline, which was very intimidating when it takes about longer than it takes you to make your average video in its entirety just for it to process on the timeline. So I had that there, and in the end I managed to get it down to 2 hours and just over 12 minutes of footage, I think. I could have reduced it a lot more. I could have reduced it to like more than 90-minute mark. My whole vlog process talking about it only lasted 97 minutes, so I probably could have got it down to like just over the 90-minute mark. But I decided to leave a lot of the phone footage in there because it was at the press conference event for this whole program that they were in. Just watch it to know what I'm talking about. And it was like the main opportunity for the people who weren't me and my friend. It was their opportunity to really speak for themselves and talk about all the charities that they're raising funding for and why they care about the whole boxing concept and how they're enjoying it and all that. So I didn't want to like cut off the other participants too much, so that's why I kept that footage in. And that was probably the longest individual segment, but I got told that the pacing was really good, so that made me really happy. But yeah, so I put all of that footage on the timeline, and then normally I call a technical cut, where I get rid of all the footage that's just like unusable, and then I actually start building the story from there. But that wasn't exactly an option for this one, because I just didn't have it in me to go through 7 hours of footage that many times. So what I did instead was I had my vlog as the base on the timeline. I went through on the vlog and I cut out all the ums and ahs. Luckily, I was really natural in the way I was speaking about it from the offset. Sometimes I'm a little stumbled when I get started, but I was talking normally throughout the majority of the vlog, and I barely had to restart a sentence even once. So it's just looking at the waveforms of the sound and cutting out the big long gaps where I was just thinking and doing nothing and getting my footage to look at prepped. And then sometimes I had to redo a sentence like less than 10 times. So I was really lucky on that one. And then once I'd cut out all the gaps and the unnecessary redos, I went back and I started dragging in B-roll from the events I was talking about, like the training sessions and the clips that my friend had sent me and the photographs of like all the graphics of the event promo materials. I was just putting that in as and when I talked about it. Usually I would go through all the footage I had, found the bits I liked, and then found a way to work it into the video. But this time I was like, you know what? if I forgot about it, I forgot about it. The vlog is like too natural, so we're not gonna like jam another bit in and go, by the way, this happened too. I was like dedicated to cutting as viciously as I could, and then if there was any extra footage that I really wanted people to look at, then I thought, you know what, I can make a third one where it's like, this is everything we didn't get to talk about, and this is here it is. But I was happy with how it was going. So I think my initial cut to get rid of stuff, I think it ended up lasting about 6 hours, but that wasn't of like going through everything cleanly. That was like from start to finish. I had a break to have a meal in the middle. I know that when I got to the B-roll, it was really finicky to get in the B-roll at the right places, because I was like doing the graphics at the same time and then like finishing that whole segment and then moving on to the next segment. Although the majority of it wasn't too bad, it was mainly the training session footage. I had 2 training sessions that I recorded the whole duration of, so that was about 2 hours. So I would watch the footage and then go through and talk about it in real time. So it was fairly easy to cut along to it chronologically. But then when I found myself talking for longer than the duration of the footage actually lasted, then I was like deciding, am I going to cut between more B-roll of unrelated stuff, or am I going to come back to talking to my face? And I tried to balance that, and that was all right. But when I was going through the sparring footage, it was really awkward, because I was like enabling and disabling a clip, making it visible and invisible over and over, and I chopped it up, and then I would drag things around and then make it invisible, so I didn't know if I had lost a clip somewhere and tried to use B-roll for earlier on. It all got very disjointed, and that took forever. When I got to the press conference footage, that's the stuff that was like, it was kind of tedious for me to go through, because I'd literally just been to that event like 2 days beforehand, and it was like a multiple hour long event. So I'd heard everyone's stories and recorded it, and now I was hearing everyone's stories again, cutting out, trying to find like the good bits. And because it was so recent, it was good that I could like try and find the good bits, but then also it was like, come on, I've heard this before, I know where this story is going, and you have to take yourself out of your own mind and into the mind of the audience who's seeing that first person perspective for the first time. And then I feel like I did a good job of it, but it was like, oh my god, come on. I think it was about halfway through the first training session footage that I went out to get a drink, because my drink was really like, I was going through it a lot of fluids for some reason. I think because I'd spent the entire day previous like talking non-stop for ages like this. Like, I've got a drink here right now. And I had a friend over at the time, and he had the official Cobra Kai pre-workout drink, and I've tried it a couple times when we actually were going to the gym and going training, and it worked out really well. But I said to him, just mix me a pre-workout for this edit, and it completely locked me in, because like, I have undiagnosed ADHD. I'm pretty confident that I just have it. I've kind of accepted that as a fact in my life now. We're just pending diagnosis on waiting lists and stuff. But the idea of caffeine is it's supposed to like get you pumped up and go, and you're gonna go lift some heavy stuff, and you're gonna Hulk out. But like, I ended up locking into the tedium. I was like, we're gonna go. So I have shortcuts on my mouse and on my keyboard, so I can like edit faster, and that makes it easier than if I'm going through like the normal drag and click, drag and click and drag and click on the timeline. But I was able to finish it hours faster than if I just went normally. So, you know, if you've got ADHD and you're unmedicated, maybe try pre-workout for a big edit project. The original goal was to finish it same day, because I wanted to upload it on Wednesday, because I always upload on Wednesdays. But the final recording I had was happened on a Tuesday, and then I slept. But then I could have been okay. Although thinking about it, I really don't think I would have been okay. I think my computer processing would have taken too long to ever upload on Wednesday, but I could have finished my edit on Wednesday. But then I got a phone call from someone who I hadn't seen in months, because they were dealing with like moving cities as a parent with a full-time big boss job, and like they completely had vanished off the face of the earth for a good number of months. So they video called me on their final drive from London to Oxford, and it was like the middle of the night, and we just had a video call for like 2 hours while they drove, because it was really bad traffic. I don't think the drive is generally that long. It was really bad traffic. When he first rang me, there were police sirens and flashing lights, and I was like, are you in a police car? And he was like, no, I'm in my own car, I'm just in London, and this is why I'm leaving, because he's leaving because of the crime rate. I didn't finish that time because I got distracted, but I woke up, and before I'd even I woke up and I got a coffee, and then I came back to my computer, and then I finished the entire edit, and I hadn't even showered, I hadn't even got dressed. I was sat here in my underwear and my pajamas and stuff, and I was just like, we're gonna finish. And then I set it to render, because I'd done like so much editing. I wanted to set it to render before I exported, you know, because like compress it all down and be able to look back at the bits where I'd added B-roll. If it was just me talking to camera, then I could be pretty confident there was no effects issues, but all the bits that I rendered, I went to look at them later. And I showered in the duration it took me to export, because that's how long it took. It was a 2 hour, 10-minute footage. It was just over 37 gigabytes of footage, for this exported video as well by the end of it, so that was crazy. But I rendered it while I went to go shower, and I dried off and got dressed entirely, and in that time it still hadn't quite rendered. I still had to wait a little bit after that, but when it did, I set it to export, and then I went out and did all my shopping and did all my chores in a very leisurely manner, by the way, and then I came back to set it from export to upload, and I started uploading it to YouTube. And then I went out and did the remainder of my shopping because I had to like go to multiple shops, and I came back and I was all loaded up, so that was a thing. And then finally, while it was uploading, I did the thumbnail. And when it had uploaded and was processing on YouTube, which again took multiple hours, then that was when I did the metadata and marked the chapters. Then I got it uploaded like late afternoon, early evening on the Thursday. And then I started sharing it around, and it immediately took off, and I got like some analytics of just the first couple of days of it being up right now. I hope you enjoyed that little story. I really don't know if I communicated anything useful, but that's sort of what my edit process was like. Obviously, you get everything on the timeline, we do the main talk to camera monologue vlog bit, we added the B-roll, we added the graphics, we did the effects, we added text effects, any kind of color grading. Luckily I didn't need to color grade the majority of it because I have a LUT that is constantly on my OBS vlog footage from this camera, because I have a whole video talking about that I'll link, and that's how you like do color correction in real time when you're recording. So that was fine, but I had to do a little bit of color correction onto the phone footage. This would then be the time where you do sound design, but I didn't really feel the need to do sound design because I had just clean talking through it, and I don't really... Recently I've not enjoyed adding music to my videos. If I leaned heavily into the documentary style thing and also had an editor, then I would probably get more fancy with sound design in my videos, because, you know, music has its purpose and sound effects are good, and that's why they exist and that's why they're there. But I like the idea that if someone wants to listen to music while they're watching my video, like a lot of people listen to my videos while they're on Discord as well, and Discord bots have like music playing constantly a lot of the time, then they can choose their own music that they like. And it's a lot easier for my content repurposing process if I don't have background music, because that means the background music gets carried over into the little clip of when I'm talking. And then also if I happen to be live streaming and I want to like edit that later, and then the music gets all cut up along with my text talky things. So that wouldn't have been an issue with this particular video, but that's sort of like my thing. So I don't really add music to my videos anymore, and it also, you know, mitigates the risk of any potential copyright claim. But I use Stream Beats by what is it, Senpai Gaming or Ninja, whatever the hell his main username is. But I use Stream Beats for when I do need music, but I don't really enjoy the process of adding music to my videos anymore, so I don't really do that. But that would have been when I added music. So we do the render, export, upload, thumbnail, metadata, publish. It's a really successful video. I hope you watch it, and I am gonna try and not take forever to edit this one. So thank you. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, everything else that is all the generic YouTuber stuff. Have a nice day. Goodbye.